This is Mon Health Talk, a weekly program focusing on the dedicated physicians, nurses, and staff at Mon Health, the region's premier community hospital system. People with skillful hands and bright minds using state-of-the-art technology. We don't just practice medicine, we care for people like family. That's why at Mon Health you can feel the difference. Once again, welcome to this edition of Mon Health Talk.
Mon Health Talk for this Monday. Thanks for joining us. I'm Kyle Wigg sitting in for Dave, who is out hunting today, which is one of the topics we'll get into. And today we have with us the Monongalia County Health Department. They're back, and Dr. Brian Huggins, health officer for the Monongalia County Health Department, is with us. Good morning.
Good morning.
Thanks for coming in. Yeah. And Daniel Caruso, Community Resource Coordinator with the Monongalia County Health Department. Daniel, good morning.
Good morning.
Thanks for coming in.
Thank you.
We are officially into holiday season.
I know. Wow. I personally still consider Halloween part of holiday season,
Well, that's
but
true.
yeah.
I
mean, I got married on Halloween, so
No, I agree with
already
you
in
there.
the festivities.
yeah, so I'm already there.
Yes.
Yeah. So now we just transition straight forward. So it's exciting.
It is exciting. So we've got Thanksgiving this week.
We got
And
Thanksgiving.
then we've got Christmas coming up and New Year's. And as we mentioned, hunting. That's a holiday for a lot of people.
Hunting is, and it's probably a good place to start.
Okay.
Hunting is, some schools in West Virginia actually take the first day of hunting season off, right? So it's a really big holiday. And there's been some concern about the safety of eating some of the deer because I think we're seeing more diseases in the deer. And I have had questions about people that say, well, is it safe to eat the meat? Do I need to get the meat checked out? And I'm going to start by saying it is almost definitely safe to eat most deer that you're going to find in the wild. I would highly recommend if a deer looks sick for any reason, if it looks too thin, if it's got masses on its body, those kinds of warning signs, if it's foaming at the mouth, right? These are things that you should watch out for. Mm-hmm. The big diseases in the deer, big one that's got a lot of press is chronic wasting disease. And that's the one where the deer basically just really slim down and it affects their brain. It's not like rabies. We'll talk about that in a minute. But chronic wasting disease is what's called a prion disease. And for people that aren't familiar, maybe people that remember back, I think it was in the 80s, mad cow disease.
Yes.
And that could spread potentially to humans. In humans, we call it Creutzfeldt-Jakob disease, and I dare you to spell that.
Creutzfeldt-Jakob disease.
Creutzfeldt-Jakob disease.
I can barely say it, much less spell it.
I know. And so, but that is what the wasting disease, a prion disease inside of humans. So the big debate was if it can go from cows to humans, what about deer to humans? As of right now, there are no human cases of getting prion disease from eating deer. In fact, the National Institutes of Health actually just did a study where they think we have something protective in our brains that stops it from coming across. That doesn't mean they know for sure. So again, if you see a deer that looks sick, don't eat it.
Right. Common sense.
Common sense. Common sense. Same thing with rabies. They can get rabies. They can get distemper. They can get all the things that mammals get, like our dogs. And some of those diseases can obviously, rabies being the biggest one, can pass to humans. And that's obviously very deadly. So just be careful out there. That's a big thing.
And the colder it gets, the better, right? In terms of harvesting a deer in the wild, you may field dress it or whatever. You bring it back to your camp or to your location, and you can kind of hang it up. And the colder, the better for that. And it looks like we've got good weather here for most of the week.
We do. I think it's actually kind of perfect hunting weather. Last week was a little bit cold. This morning's a little bit cold, but otherwise, I think it's going to look real nice this week.
Okay. All right. So that's deer hunting.
That's
and
deer
obviously,
hunting.
Be safe out there. Blaze orange, everything.
Yep.
Orange, careful about terrain. It could be rocky, slippery if you're hunting in places people don't normally go, which I feel is desirable for hunters especially. So that's another quick tip.
And absolutely be 100% certain what you are shooting at.
Yeah, I enjoy a good. Well, I shouldn't. That's gonna sound bad. I enjoy a drink every once in a while. Drinking and hunting is bad for a lot of reasons. Especially, I've seen a lot of people fall out of tree stands. If you're going to go up in a tree stand, moderation, right? That's the theme of the holidays. Moderation.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And again, just that blaze orange and be safe and be absolutely certain what you're shooting at. Okay, so Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, a lot of people are going to be cooking a lot of food, and that could be a problem in terms of safety in your home.
Oh yeah. People don't realize. I was looking up statistics on Thanksgiving and the holidays, and it's pretty shocking what you see out there. So the most cooking fires happen on Thanksgiving every year, and that's from the National Fire Protection Association. So, which isn't really surprising, right? There's a lot of people that may not cook the whole rest of the year, and then they decide, I'm going to make the biggest meal I'm going to possibly make for my family on Thanksgiving Day. And a lot of that goes into oil fires, and it goes into, and of course, you always hear that horror story about the deep frying of the turkey, right? I know
it's popular online. I know last year and the other year, people went viral for posting videos about it, but they went viral for having it end badly, and it's not good influence.
Well, yeah, no one wants to watch something normal.
No.
You're looking for the catastrophe.
Why do people, I mean, do you guys know why people like to deep fry a turkey? Like, do you know why they do that?
Tastes good.
It tastes
probably
really
tastes good.
It's actually the way they keep it most moist.
Really?
Oh, yeah, it locks in the moisture in the breasts probably. And,
Right. I mean, everybody knows that feeling growing up. Like, I grew up thinking turkey, when you eat it, you would have to go, or covered in gravy.
Like Christmas Vacation.
Right.
You cut
exactly.
into it and the air comes
right,
out.
pull
Yeah.
the bone. And so, deep frying a turkey can actually lock in moisture. It can actually be really juicy and delicious. It's just, it's very dangerous. One of the biggest things that people don't do, as always with anything, thaw your meat. Like, everybody forgets last minute, you go buy that turkey that weighs 20 pounds. It takes a week to thaw a 20-pound turkey. And if you're going to take something frozen that has a lot of moisture in it and you put that into oil, that oil is going to explode. Anyone that's ever worked in fast food, I have, you know what it's like if water hits a deep fryer. It is bad. And that's a small amount. And a 20-pound turkey full of moisture, dry that thing. Dry that turkey the best you can. That's going to help prevent.
So thaw it and dry it.
Thaw it and dry it.
That's the biggest cause of deep fryer turkey fires is moisture, right?
Yep. And there is only about, now, we hear about this in the news, so we think it happens a lot. There's only about 5 people a year that die. I mean, well, that's still, but it doesn't even. However, there's $15 million in property damage. $15 million every year due to deep frying turkeys.
Wow. Okay, so your tips on deep frying a turkey. Most people that have the turkey deep fryer, they do it outdoors, or they do it in their garage. Where do they do it?
Well, that's the thing, is some people just set it up in their house.
Okay.
And anytime, the best place you can do it is open air, away from anything else. And so the biggest, I don't know that I have a great recommendation of whether you should do it indoors or outdoors. Outdoors would be great. A lot of people like where if you have a smoker or a grill, that's a great place to do it.
Well, a garage seems to be reasonable.
I've seen it commonly done on driveways, or if they have a concrete flat out back behind their house too. Just anywhere with open space.
And make sure you check the weather. If it rains into your deep fryer, you're going to be in a world of
That's a good point.
Yep. And another just big thing, big warning, food poisoning, right? Worst, what I call the devil food, mayonnaise.
Really?
Always.
Okay.
Mayonnaise causes more food poisoning than anything else.
Eesh.
And what is one of the biggest things with mayonnaise that we eat at Thanksgiving? Deviled food eggs.
Yeah.
Yes.
And those things, if they sit out too long, you are going to get sick. And so anything that's got mayonnaise in it, anything, keep it refrigerated. Don't leave it sitting out. We have a tendency to put out the food in the morning and then just graze on it all day, and it sits out. If it's got mayonnaise, coleslaw, egg salad, potato salad, deviled
Deviled eggs.
Thank you.
Yes.
Oh my goodness, why am I struggling with that? Get them in the fridge
Okay.
as soon as you can.
Anything that's perishable should not be out of the fridge for more than 2 hours. If you're hosting and you have guests that they want to snack on stuff, maybe think about cycling out different dishes every couple hours just to keep within those boundaries.
Okay. What are the main, beyond the deep frying of the turkeys, what are the main causes of kitchen fires? If you're just making the turkey in the oven, you're doing the stuffing and potatoes on the stove, you're doing the rolls, maybe you're baking some bread, and we see it every year. People have fires in their kitchens.
Yep. Another one is the oven. So a lot of people will overnight cook their turkey, cook food, and they set the timer on the oven. I don't know about anybody else in here. I don't trust technology that much. Maybe it's watching Terminator growing up, or maybe it's The Matrix, but I don't trust technology enough that it's going to shut off when it says it's going to shut off. And I think for a lot of people, they have older ovens and they burn stuff in the oven. And of course, you can get a fire in the oven as easily as you can from a deep fryer. Same thing on top of the oven. It's very easy to accidentally, anyone that's watched Hell's Kitchen or any of those other cooking shows, it's very easy to get a fire on your stovetop. And if you get an oil fire or you get a fire on the stove, it's not that easy to put out. And you need to make sure you have either a proper fire extinguisher, or you need to have a certified blanket or some kind of, like you'll see in the shows, they'll put lids on. Suffocating a fire is the best way to put out a fire. Fire extinguishers, aiming low, race and pass. Critical stuff. Everyone should try to learn how to use a fire extinguisher at some point.
A lot of people make the mistake by adding water to it right away.
Oh, yeah.
Which is not good.
Yeah, you can't put out a stove fire with water, right? You have to. You need a fire extinguisher. And when we were talking before the show, these fire blankets that you see advertised, they work. You say certified fire blanket.
Yes. Make sure you're getting something legit. Because anytime you have something legit, someone's going to make something cheaper, and it doesn't actually work right. And the worst thing you could do is put a blanket on a fire and it catches on fire.
That's not funny. I shouldn't laugh.
Right.
But you're right. I mean,
right.
You try to go cheap with it. You can't do it. Got to
Exactly.
get a certified fire blanket, and you should just have that.
Right.
You should have it. And I think most people do have fire extinguishers because of their insurance, right? You get a break off your insurance if you got a fire extinguisher in the kitchen. But how many of us have ever used one or know how to use one?
100%. And that's something that, you can look on fire websites. Like, there is information out there that's easy to get to. And Dana, you were actually mentioning that with the new hoods that people are putting over top, that the fans that people are installing, I'm not that fancy yet, but if you want to talk about that.
My grandparents got them for their house. I want to say they're magnetic, and if you have a range with a microwave over your stove, it'll stick
underneath.
To the underside, and then it will detect a fire. I'm not sure. I mean, I assume it would be certified. There are probably different kinds out there, like you said, that could not be certified. So it's definitely new technology. I haven't really heard of it much before, and it would be worth looking into.
Well, and in commercial restaurants, they have a system that goes in and actually sprays if it detects a fire. The big warning sign of that also is all of these systems, even fire extinguishers, are made to get rid of the oxygen around the fire. If you ever get let off any of those things, if you are in a kitchen that has that, et cetera, it will deplete the oxygen in the air. So it's important that you get outside. That way you don't suffocate.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so kitchen fires. Another thing that you have to be constantly aware of is if you're chopping the onions and your niece stops by and you haven't seen her all year and she's in the kitchen visiting with you, you got to pay attention. You're going to cut your finger.
Absolutely. And I'm guilty of this. One of the best ways you can prevent, and this seems counterintuitive, the best ways you can prevent knife cuts is having sharper knives. Dull knives are actually one of the biggest reasons that people end up cutting themselves, because when it struggles to go through what you're cutting, you're more likely to then miss or have it come off and then go into your hand.
Yeah,
and you're using more force.
The added pressure you put on it if the knife's dull. That makes sense.
Exactly. If you've got a really good sharp knife, it's just going to go through that tomato. It's going to go through the potato. It's going to go through the things. Also using the right size knife. I've seen people pull out a paring knife for something that is, you shouldn't really cut the stalk off a head of broccoli with a paring knife. Like, you really do need the right size knife for what you're doing.
Or a chef knife to slice little tomatoes
Okay, and this goes without saying. Obviously, there's going to be, I think I heard or read somewhere that this Thanksgiving holiday is going to be the most traveled maybe ever, both by car and by plane.
Yeah.
So, again, be alert when you're driving. Obviously, don't drink and then drive, whether you're at a party and you leave. Make provisions if you know you're going to consume alcohol, have a driver, or stay put. Don't go anywhere.
Right. And that's, this, like they predict about there's 57,800 traffic accidents at Thanksgiving, every year, with 437 fatalities or so, which is lower, believe it or not, than the December holiday season. But it goes up every year because airfare is getting more expensive. People are choosing to get back on the road. And we're still in that post-COVID, we're going to go out and see our family again. So just be very careful. I mean, that's the biggest thing is we all get frustrated. Some of the freeways, especially when you get outside. In West Virginia, we're very lucky. We don't have a lot of traffic going on. I mean, we get frustrated when we get a little bit of traffic on, 79. But realistically, you go down into the North Carolina areas around the D.C. area, it's miserable trying to go on any interstate. And so you get in a hurry. And that's when accidents happen.
All right, so Thanksgiving, traveling, and cooking, and tips there. We're on a roll, so let's just keep right on going through here.
It.
The December holidays and Christmas.
And I got to put a plug in real fast before we leave Thanksgiving. Anyone that likes horror movies, if you've never heard of Thanksgiving, it is one of the campiest Thanksgiving horror movies. I think they even made a second or third one. You've got to check this out. Thanksgiving. I don't know what streaming service it's on. It's ridiculous. Okay, Christmas.
Okay. On that note. Christmas.
So, I kind of, when I was researching this, it really hit me with Christmas movies and just holiday movies in general. And I want to make sure it's all holidays. It's not just Christmas. But we tend to laugh in movies at accidents that happen in these movies, but the reality, the statistics are actually kind of shocking. They're like in 2021, there was 14,800 people who were seen in the emergency room for decorating related injuries. And that doesn't, and when you have hundreds of millions of people in the country, that doesn't sound like a large number, but it really is when you think about how many people get hurt. And it's very easy to get hurt. When you're putting up your decorations, ladders, right? Like, hands down. I mean, we've seen Christmas Vacation, and we laugh when somebody falls, when they're putting up decorations. I think it's probably one of the biggest tropes in all of the different holiday movies, right? And so, you have I'm getting on a ladder, and the ladder doesn't stay put. But I personally know somebody that when they were trying to get off the roof, they fell off the ladder. And they got a severe back injury. And that's the thing is you don't have to die. You could have lifelong pain. So be safe. Make sure somebody's with you. Make sure you have a steady ladder. If there's ice, be aware of that. If you're walking on a roof, make sure you're taking care of that. Yep.
Okay. Again, common sense.
Common sense.
All right. Exactly. So also we talked about fires, cooking, Thanksgiving and Christmas. You've got the added layer of lighted and sometimes, candles in Christmas and Hanukkah decorations.
Yeah. Dan, you want to tell us a little bit about what you found out about candles?
Yeah. Candles started 45% of home fires. Was this over the course of 2021?
Yes. 2021.
Yes. Yep. So that's pretty shocking.
Yep.
We have 1,170 home fires started due to decorations. Yep. So I assume these would include plug-in lights and all the electrical equipment that would go with that.
Yep. And I know it seems like it wouldn't happen, but pets.
Yeah.
We
chewing
really
on things. They
do. They really do. Like
that's what pets do.
Yes,
they chew on things.
Yes. Christmas tree fires caused by cats chewing on wires is a real thing. It actually does happen.
I can only have my Christmas tree plugged in when I'm in the room because I have 6 cats and they all like to mess with it. They'll try to climb it, play with the wires, and you can't stop it.
We've given up on having any kind of bulb or anything glass on the tree because it will be destroyed.
That too.
It's yes.
Glass ornaments for sure.
All right, we're down to our last couple of minutes.
You got it.
So we've covered ladder safety with decorations. We've covered safety with decorations.
Yep.
Obviously, live trees. Again, something we all learned from Christmas Vacation. Keep them watered. Don't let them dry out.
Yep.
And toy safety. That's a big thing as well in the final minute here.
Toy safety is just really ridiculous. So with toy safety, people really do get hurt when they're shopping for toys. We had 206,000 injuries from toys. And that's not just shopping for toys. That is kids playing with toys.
Yeah.
You have to be careful when you get your kids' toys. Little loose pieces, look at the age limit on it. But 206,000 people get hurt from toys. I remember when I was an ER resident, I actually saw somebody come in and they got an x-ray. And they actually had a little thimble and they had a little car and they had a little dog. And they'd swallowed all of the Monopoly
Oh, my
pieces, and they showed up. They're metal. They showed up on an X-ray.
Oh, that's a human, right? Not
Yes,
a dog.
That was a person.
Oh,
Yes.
my goodness. Okay.
Yes.
All right. So be careful with the toys. Just a lot to think about. And again, do your best to stay healthy. We recommend the flu shot, obviously. And you're going to be in large groups of people. So wash your hands constantly and, just do what you can. We only got about 30 seconds left here, but do what you can to stay healthy, to make it through the holidays healthy.
Absolutely.
All right, guys. Great information and a fun show. It's fun if you're not injured.
Exactly.
Right. Exactly.
But that's why we're here. To
Yes,
help
right.
you with
Right.
that.
It's fun to prepare
Survive
for
the
these
holidays.
things. Exactly.
Yes.
Dr. Brian Huggins, Health Officer, Monongalia County Health Department. Daniel Caruso, Community Resource Coordinator with the Mon County Health Department. Again, great show, good information. Thanks. Happy holidays.
Thank you
Thank
for having
you.
us.
All right, that's Mon Health Talk for this Monday. Stay tuned. The news is coming up next on WAJR.